Hey guys, listener discretion is advised. This is part 2 of the One Lunatic, One Ice Pick podcast that we did last night. It's just me tonight, and I'm going to probably get some opinions from my mom, because she's with me today. So you guys stay tuned, and like I said, listener discretion is advised. Thank you. Hey guys, this is the Odd Pods with the Odd Broad, and tonight I'm continuing the part 2 of the One Lunatic, One Ice Pick video. Where we left off is we were discussing how accessible the video was for a time. Now you have to go, it's very virtually, you cannot find it unless you go dig deeper into the web, which I'm glad, because that video did not have no business being put on the clear web. Going into Magnotta's earlier phases in life, what he did before he committed the heinous act of murder, he actually was the one who posted the one boy, two kittens video, the kitten drowning video, and the cat versus snake video.
That son of a bitch did that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I would have already murdered him if I found him.
That was on the Don't Fuck With Cats.
Oh, is that why you and Lena didn't want me to watch it?
Yeah, because
I would have just went off, totally.
It took a bunch of internet sleuths to figure out who he was, but then again, he was posting it, and he was, like, trying to give himself away. Like, it's me, hello, you know.
The fuck for?
Yeah, and he was a would-be, like, I guess you say a wannabe model. I mean, he did do erotic modeling for a bit.
I don't care what that got to do with drowning cats and hurting and snakes and cats. Fucking asshole. Is he alive to this day?
He's in prison.
I would want to hire somebody to kill him. Hello?
Yeah, so when he started, like, when I was talking to my co-host last night about the psychological effect, about how people treat animals, and to the escalation to moving on to humans, it is a thing that I did read in a book, and I did read in psychology, and what we were taught, like my teacher would say, if a person at a young age was exposed to that much damage, or that much torture, or, you know, some type of visual, it would be cemented in their head, thinking it's okay for them to do that. And I'm just going to bring this up as an example, because I no longer talk to this person at all. I have no ties with this person, even though we're related. Even I had a birthday party, turned 15, 16, and my mom had put goldfish in a thing, for a place that, you know, so people could take them home, really, have fish. My little cousin decided to take all the fish out of the bowls and stomp on them, because he thought it was funny. And, you know, he was squishing them with his hands too. So he was doing some really bad shit. So my mom had told him and his mother to leave, because they were just she's like, I don't see what's wrong, what's going on, and it was a big mess. But you escalate from problems like that, and you wonder why, if they were bullied at a younger age, that's why they think they're inferior to smaller things, and it escalates to something big. In the case of Luca Magnotta, where he went from drowning kittens to dismembering Junlin, which was, yeah. And then, the whole thing, he actually started a rumor that he was dating Carla Homolka. If you guys don't know who Carla Homolka was, she's a murderer in Canada as well. She and her husband, Paul Bernardo, they raped and murdered girls, including that of her own sister. And then all of a sudden he's like, please stop spreading the rumor that I'm dating Carla Homolka. And, you know, it was just it's like a little attention whore. So the whole thing when he tried to tie himself with Carla Homolka is just kind of stupid in a way. his interviews that he did have, like, you know, they were like, when he did interviews, like, he was trying to do one for Cover Guy, where he was not selected, but when he was on Plastic Makes Better, he actually made it to, like, the last few winning contestants, but he was eventually taken off the show. Yeah. So looking back at current interviews that people had requested from him, there's one from TorontoSun.com. This is from Michael. Michelle Mandel, sadistic killer Luca Magnotta, tells author we're the crazy ones. Sadistic killer Luca Magnotta is crazy like a fox, speaking for the first time since his arrest for the horrific murder and butchering of international student Junlin. The former model and 2-bit porn actor admits that despite his unsuccessful defense strategy, he's not mentally ill. It's very annoying. I never wanted anything to do with the NCR, not criminally irresponsible defense. The convicted killer told Brian Whitney, who has co-authored a new book with Magnotta's mother, Anna Yorkin, entitled My Son the Killer. The thing I have a problem with Anna Yorkin is that in the whole series of Don't Fuck with Cats, is that she was heavily defending her son, knowing that he is a monster. And she probably played part in creating that monster.
She gave birth to it, didn't she?
Yeah. At his sensational 2014 trial in Montreal, Magnotta admitted to killing and then dismembering Lin, a 33-year-old student from China who was studying computer engineering at Concordia University. But lawyer Luc Leclerc argued that his client was suffering from schizophrenia and hearing voices in his head. The jury didn't buy it, and Magnotta now admits it was all legal ploy. The reason why they were trying to pull in the whole schizophrenia thing is because he has schizophrenia from his father. His father was diagnosed with it, and in turn, he was diagnosed with it.
He inherited it.
Yeah, he inherited it. It's hereditary.
Strong gene,
Yeah. I have no mental illness whatsoever. I had to go with it even though I didn't want to, but my lawyers pressured me to do it. He told Whitney in the book, I told the doctors I had no mental illness. Even now in prison, I take no medications, but the lawyers and I said our only chance was to go with the NCR defense. I wish I didn't do it. I wish I testified and told my story my way. The jury heard Magnotta had been plotting for months to kill someone, and Lin was his unwitting victim. Thinking he was just there for a hookup, the smiling man was last seen entering an apartment of horrors on May 24th, 2012. He would never exit alive. So that's like how there was really any type of relationship going between Magnotta or Lin. It was based from what other reports are saying, but that it was a personal ad hookup. The 10-minute music video uploaded a few days later shows Magnotta stabbing Lin to death, dismembering his body and performing sex acts with Lin's arm and torso. Constantly checking himself out in the mirror, the evil narcissist casually stuffed his victim's torso in a suitcase and put it out in the apartment trash and wrapped body parts in pink tissue paper and mailed them to political offices in Ottawa and two Vancouver schools. Then he took off to Berlin, where he was arrested at an internet cafe, reading stories about himself. So, after being interviewed, asking questions of why he doesn't like talking about the actual crime itself, but he will talk about anything else at that length, but if not that. And this is his response. At one point, he said, "The lies people tell are what separates me from the rest of society. In other words, it isn't the one that he isn't the one that's messed up. It's everyone else." But yet, he says he's not messed up for what he's done. Right. Anyone like myself who had to listen to the stomach-wrenching rendition of Lynn's autopsy would beg to differ. The court heard Lynn's body arrived at the morgue in 10 pieces. He had been stabbed 37 times in the chest area, 18 more in the abdomen, and he'd been decapitated, and the pathologist said wasn't sure if it had this happened before or after he was dead. A month had passed before his severed head was discovered in a Montreal park. So it was found at a waist side of the lake area over there. That's where they found his head. Through an anonymous tip, although we all know it was from Luca. And then there was Magnata's proud posting of one lunatic, one ice pick snuff video of his sick mutilation of the poor soul, and he dares to say we're the ones with the problem. So this is what the Toronto Sun had wrote about this interview. What was brought up in another report was that he was advertising for one lunatic, one ice pick, but no one knew what he was talking about. Yeah. And after that Netflix series came out, he got a bigger head than he had before, thinking he's the shit and whatnot. Everyone still thinks he's a piece of shit. I mean, come on. And then there is a website I got some stuff from. It's called KristenHugo.medium.com. And she actually wrote to Magnata. So this is one other thing, was that Magnata said that there was another hand at that, like he was he was told to make these kind of movies by a person named Manny Lopez. And no one knows who the hell this Manny Lopez is. His own mother said that she was concerned because this Manny Lopez was controlling her son's life.
How and why?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
What did he have over him? What did he do? Did he do it before or what?
They say he was getting told. Yeah, Manny Lopez.
Manny Lopez from down the street?
Manny Lopez who lives on Tall Street? Let's see. From what, this is what he said, Freddie. My porn was, firstly, this is because they're saying that, what refers to Manny Lopez. Porn was never my career, ever is bewildering that that title is used to describe me. That was never my career goal or choice, but yet you did it. My career was for 15 years a highly successful male escort, making $10,000 a night in New York City, Los Angeles, Miami, and dozens of other countries. Yeah, right.
You look that good, you don't look that good, and your shit don't look that good.
I was paid good cash by a friend to do a couple of adult films on the side that can hardly be described as a career or being a failed porn actor. Ridiculous. Actually, the $10,000 you supposedly had is actually the $10,000 worth of debt you put a mentally disabled woman in when you pretended to be her and get credit cards in her name and spend that shit. That's what she did.
I gotta get powder. This shit's getting old. It's not working.
Yeah. So, anyways, Manny. Everyone was questioning who the hell is Manny Lopez and how is he connected to the case of Luca Magnotta. Is Manny Lopez the real mastermind behind Luca Magnotta's sadistic murder of...
I think it's his other half.
His schizo side?
Yeah, I think it's that's what I think. I don't think anybody can control anybody like that to kill somebody.
This is what was said about this mysterious Manny Lopez. Manny Lopez was a sadistic person who had directed his long-term abuse victim to have sex with and kill animals before ultimately forcing him to escalate his crimes and kill a person. At least that's what convicted killer Luca Magnotta claims Lopez forced him to do. But who is this shady Lopez character? Does he exist at all? Or is he just a figure of Magnotta's twisted imagination?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah. Anna York, this is what I'm saying. It's just kind of fucking dumb. Anna York and Magnotta's mother explained that docuseries that her son began talking about Lopez years before Lynn's murder. After Magnotta failed to make it as an actor and a model, he began working as an escort. And she said that he had met Lopez while engaged and that in that line of work, he quickly gained control over him. She called Lopez her son's keeper, a man who would continually follow her son despite Magnotta moving and changing his phone number. He was a stalker, she claimed, adding that her son said Manny had told him, "I have connections. He'll do as I say." First time Yorkin heard rumors that her son killed a cat in a video, she felt something wasn't right. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Your son's a psycho. I asked him about the video, and he said I was forced to do it. He said Manny explained that Manny was selling videos of animals being tortured or murdered on the deep web, and he was making an awful lot of money. Yorkin said that her son instructed her to watch one of the torture videos all the way to see the end. She did, and she claims that she could see someone else's hands in it. She believes those hands belong to Lopez. The mother offered to go to the police, but said her son advised her not to out of safety concerns. Joel Watts, a defense psychiatrist who later conducted a forensic assessment of Magnotta, said he had researched Magnotta and found that Magnotta had been talking about Lopez for years. Romeo Salto, an attorney from whom Magnotta approached after being accused of animal abuse, said that he was complaining to him about Lopez for about a year and a half before Lynn's murder. He said that Manny is always there. Salsa said in docuseries, Manny is always torturing him and forcing him to do these things. He even sent him an email entitled List of Abuse from Manny, which rattled off the various disturbing acts. Among them, Magnotta claimed that Lopez strangled him with an electrical cord, stabbed him with a pencil, a pen, forced him to eat animal parts with worms, and forced him to have sex with cats and a puppy. Late at night, Magnotta would send Salta cryptic emails claiming that Lopez was outside his house. He claimed that he was kidnapped and brought to New York to Miami Beach and Florida, where he was raped by Lopez and others, beaten and abandoned on the beach. There was even a police report to verify that. But is Lopez real? Investigators said there's nothing to corroborate Lopez's existence, and they don't believe he's an actual person. Furthermore, there's no record of Magnotta making or receiving any phone calls the night he murdered Lynn, contradicting the claims that he was talking to Lopez by phone, receiving directions. Magnotta was convicted of first-degree murder for Lynn's killing in 2014. He is currently serving life in prison. So, like I said, guys, the life sentence in Canada, depending on which province you're in, is based off of, I think, 25 to 30 years. That's considered life. But he's got 4 charges, and after serving life, he's got 19 years per charge concurrent. So he's not getting out.
Never.
So, yeah. Some people that are on YouTube, if you watch the video, some people who are actual psychiatrists and behavioral analysis, they say that he shows signs of split personality disorder.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And that this Manny character is actually someone in his head. Yeah. And it's like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde effect.
Don't make it right.
And it still doesn't make it right. Because he was conscious and he
knows right from wrong.
Yes, he does. He knows right from wrong. He still did it anyways. And if he didn't know right from wrong, why the fuck did he take off to Berlin?
Yep.
So, how the deep web profited off of it is that people got hold of the actual download before Bescore had removed it from all its all off the channels of operation. And there were websites on the clear web that were advertising the video, but they are now all like cut off. Like all the websites are all taken down because
they sent them out. So I don't know
yeah.
if they thought he was gonna make money from that. Instead, everybody else screwed him, and they make money on their own.
Yeah, it's just like crazy. And then like the Canadian authorities prosecuted the guy that owns Best Gore. If you guys don't know what Best Gore is a website full of gore videos, pictures, etc. regarding different types of deaths, like suicides, murders, public stonings, shit like that.
Jeez.
They even got like they even have cartel beheadings and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I seen those.
The executions, that shit's brutal.
It is really bad.
Like, and then like this guy, like I think in Nigeria or something, he got like caught with another man's wife, so they fucking chopped his shit off, and they stoned him. And they set her on fire. They set her on fire, and then they stoned the guy. I mean, it's just insane. Like, I knew I was gonna, it's not gonna be a long episode, but I was just saying, like, I was just wrapping this up. From what we all read, Junlin's family had his body cremated, and his ashes are actually buried in Montreal. Much to, they were very grateful for the families that took him in and housed them during the time of the trial and all that, but my heart still goes out to them. Nobody deserves to lose a child, and no parent needs to bury their child before them. And they had such high hopes for him too. With that being said, kiddies, stay safe out there. Beware of who you talk to on the net. You see red flags, just avoid. That boy was full of them. And he's currently serving life in prison, and he's never getting out.
Except in a tiny box.
Yeah. Alright, guys. I'm cutting it short for tonight. So this has been Odd Pods with the Odd Broad. I am the Odd Broad herself. You guys have a good night, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about some other random subject I throw at the wall. Or pull out of a hat or something. This was actually from one of my a requested thing from a TikTok user. So you got your podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.